Well, it's kind of scary. I just stay prayed up. I just hope everybody get through it together.
This morning, the Gulf Coast is inspecting the damage after Hurricane Helene tore through the region overnight. This as first responders spent the night rescuing people from flooded homes. In all, the storm led to 3 deaths, including one person who died after a sign fell on their car on a Tampa highway. The scenes of the destruction came pouring in almost as fast as the storm surge. You can see some of the video here. You can see someone riding a bike through the storm, also down power lines and trees. And behind me here at this hour, we're getting a lot of video coming in here. And at this hour, the storm is now considered a tropical storm swirling over the Carolinas. Right now, millions are still without power across Florida, Georgia, as well as the Carolinas and Virginia. Georgia's governor calling the storm one of the biggest the state has ever seen. Tampa's mayor says as the sun comes up this morning in the east, the real work begins.
So when people wake up this morning, please turn on. If you have electricity, pay attention to your local news. We are going to assess the ability to open things back up.
She went on to thank emergency crews for putting their lives on the line to save the lives of others. Even before Helene made landfall, meteorologists predicted unsurvivable storm surge in some areas. Brandon Lewis from our National Verify team looks into whether flooding from hurricanes is actually deadlier than wind speed.
So let's verify. Is flooding actually the leading cause of death during hurricanes? Our sources are the American Meteorological Society, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the Florida Climate Center at Florida State University. Every hurricane and tropical storm brings rain and the potential for coastal flooding from storm surge. The American Meteorological Society studied deaths caused by hurricanes over 10 years and found flooding was the leading cause of death. Nearly 6 in 10 deaths were caused by drowning from flooding, while the wind led to 1 in 10 deaths. NOAA says a storm's category number has little to do with a storm's projected rainfall and flooding risk. Between 2013 and 2022, 6 of the 10 deadliest storms were Category 1 or weaker when they made landfall. So, yes, flooding is the leading cause of death from hurricanes. Some meteorologists want to overhaul the hurricane system to include a storm's potential size, duration, and intensity, instead of just focusing on a storm's wind speed. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Takes a lot of detail to cover hurricanes in this part of the country because it isn't just about the maximum sustained wind speeds, which goes into the category of a hurricane. But as you heard, storm surge, flooding, amount of rain, sometimes the speed of the system can play a big factor as well. So it was Hurricane Helene at a Category 4 strength that made landfall late last night in Florida's Big Bend, just south of Tallahassee. Now, since then, it has moved straight through Georgia, and it is now just over the western portion of South Carolina as a tropical storm. Still has sustained wind speeds of 60 miles per hour, but it is the rain and just the raw amount of water and flooding that's going to be the big issue, especially for this part of the country, where the Appalachian Mountains actually starting to increase the amount of rain that is possible here. And we actually kind of can feel that a bit ourselves because we know that the mountains here can sometimes produce more rain overall. It just squeezes out more moisture. Well, that's happening right here. And obviously that's a hurricane to begin with. So that's a ton of water that's going to be falling. In fact, some areas of the Carolinas expecting more than 12 inches of rain.